one that we had to actually use ourselves internal. We actually had a meeting the other day, of which I was reviewing some of the stuff we were doing internal marketing and some of the projects. And again, we as technologists will want to solve and tilt for the windmills and go for the hardest problem to show the biggest bang because we solved it and we're heroes. And now we're 4 months into this, and we're still kind of in this bottom right category of what we were trying to bite off was far too complex. It was, I think that the processes were probably moderately defined, but it's one of those cases where there's other areas that are well-defined, relatively simple, that are going to have the biggest value. A great example of this, where a number of projects we're doing to continue to improve even the cadence of messaging and the stuff that comes out of marketing into our customer base. And it's like, oh, hey, we want to find a way of doing the analytics on certain aspects of our marketing automation platform and the email campaigns to go out. It's a simple process, it's well defined, but we're kind of focusing on a different project. So, it becomes so critical, especially as you kind of map all of these things out, to recognize that even the simple wins keep you moving forward. It's not leaps and bounds, it's step by step. And I know that it's often very hard for us as we're kind of putting these projects together to kind of remember that, because there's this big burning issue over here, right? Which maybe is sitting in the green or the gray area, but there's often some of these things that will have a significant monetary benefit to the organization and help you kind of keep moving forward. Because if you think about it, especially as the way you're kind of defining some of these processes, they're very probably iterative. You're probably decomposing a larger problem. So each of these is more of a step to solve the other problem. And by the time you solve all of the problems in the blue, some of the stuff that was in the gray maybe turns green. Stuff that's in the green turns blue. So there's many ways that as we're kind of scoping out everything that we have, don't overlook the simple one, because the simple one creates that quick win for you, which then helps, again, back to what we were talking about before, identifying that champion for you. The innovation leaders, they're going to see the value in that. They're going to continue to push forward. They're going to be able to use what you've just done while, so you've kind of fed them some of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's so important that this stage is taken into consideration based on everything Dave has mentioned around kind of creating those business cases and understanding the ROI.
Yes, I would kind of further would add here is, is we've said, hey, when you first look at that portfolio of possible projects, prioritize those that you can get that quick win. But going back to this broader concept of building organizational capacity, those are the projects that you will get a win. You'll create champions. You will educate automation leaders who will then have the capacity to build and maintain and continue digital transformations within their domains, or maybe even cross-domain as they become more capable. So what was a priority, it's done. What becomes considered next becomes a priority. What you could not automate before, because you're also, as we think about empowering these people, and we're also not only empowering their technical capability to be able to contribute to digital transformation efforts, they're going to become more adept at defining business processes, thinking in terms of, okay, how do I structure this business process? How do I look at the way we're going to do something new or something we're doing now in a better way, so that it is well defined and so that we can automate it. And it's no longer a complex problem because I've thought through the process. I understand automation principles, and now I can partner with IT, even if it's something that requires a heavy level of technology that's maybe beyond what I can do. I can give them everything they need for, we don't need the business analysts in the middle. We don't need, I get the requirements from the business team and I bring them to the engineers. That whole middle path is gone. You've accelerated the speed and you've improved you reduce the risk of that, because that's when the problem goes wrong, right? It's not that the coders can't code. It's not that the business people don't know how to do business. It's that the communication broke down, and that's what you're adding, that as well as adding the technical capability for those teams.